Welcome back to another episode of Bears Talk, and what a wild first day of Chicago Bears training camp practices it was. Not only because of what happened on the field, which we'll dive into in a few moments, but really what happened off the field with Cole Kmet's new contract. The Chicago Bears locked him up for 4 years. We're going to talk about what that means for this team right now and in the future. Talk about what happened at training camp on day one and what we can expect in the coming days to follow. Come on back and let's have some Bears talk.
We're going to be an effort-based team.
Darnell being Darnell.
Love playing football.
Ready to open this thing up. Let them know that we're coming.
Before we dive into Cole Kmet's contract and everything that happened on the practice field, you know what to do, Bears talkers. If you have not yet hit that subscribe button, make sure you do it. Make sure you turn on the notifications bell, that alarm, that alert, so you know every time we post a new episode. We're going to have a lot of shows coming your way fast and furiously during training camp over the next couple of weeks. Maybe we get an edge rusher who comes to Chicago. We'll break that down. All the things, all the good, the bad, and everything in between that happens at training camp. We're going to be talking about it here. So hit that subscribe button. Go over to bearstalk.com where you can find all of your everyday Chicago Bears content, news, notes, and analysis, breakdowns from training camp, any videos that we can get our hands on, we put out there on Bears Talk as well. So you'll stay up to date, up to the minute. All your urges, your Chicago Bears urges will be met over at Bears Talk. And go to community.bearstalk.com and create your own Bears Talk social network account where you can connect with other Chicago Bears fans and, of course, be the expert yourself. Create content, post articles on that site, share them on social media. Maybe you'll be the next big thing, the next big Bears guy. You never know, or Bears gal, or Bears whoever. That could be you. So go to community.bearstalk.com and check it out. Enough with that. Let's talk about Cole Kmet, Chicago Bears tight end Cole Kmet, not only for 2023, but for the next 4 years. The Chicago Bears locked up Kmet on a 4-year, $50 million contract extension, which, look, at first blush, right? My first reaction when I saw the news and I saw that Kmet signed this big deal that puts him into essentially that top 10 range for annual average value of the contract, I was like, yeah, Cole Kmet's good, right? He's a good tight end. Is he a top 10 tight end in the NFL? Is he a guy that you think of, as one of the first 3 or 4 tight ends that come to mind as a real weapon for an offense, a pass catching stud? No, he's not that guy. And that's okay. There's not many of those in the NFL right now. The tight end position is kind of in a transition period where there's only one Travis Kelce, George Kittle, some of these guys that are the premier tight ends. It's very top heavy. And then you get this cluster of 6, 7, 8 guys that Cole Kmet is now one of them, right? Making $12.5 million a year, coming off of a season last year where he set his own career high with 7 touchdowns. He led the Chicago Bears in every major receiving category. And let's face it, he's a good dude, right? Cole Kmet is a good guy. Cole Kmet does things the right way. He goes about his business the right way. High character guy, big time work ethic, and he's gotten better. He's gotten incrementally better year over year since coming into the league as a second-round pick back in 2020. I think what happened with Cole Kmet was there were some unfair comparisons made to Rob Gronkowski when he was coming out. And it seems like every big, lumbering, somewhat athletic pass-catching tight end these days has been given that Rob Gronkowski, the baby Gronk treatment. And look, there's only one Rob Gronkowski. He's a Hall of Fame tight end for a reason. He was a special player. And I've always said this during draft season. It's very dangerous to place a player comp that is a Hall of Famer on an incoming NFL rookie because it just creates expectations that are often very hard to meet. And even if you fall just short of those expectations, it probably means you had a very good career, but fans still don't feel like you satisfied the projection that they had for you when you came into the league. if we kind of cleanse that and just look at what Cole Kmet has been as a pro up to this point, he's a developing tight end at only 24 years old who brings a little something as a run blocker, brings a little something as a receiver. And look, Travis Kelce was 24 years old when he was a rookie in the league. George Kittle was 24 years old when he was a rookie in the NFL. Kittle broke out in his second season at 25 years old. It took Travis Kelce maybe a little bit longer than that. Tight ends generally take more time to become the big time tight ends that we've all been able to, that name recognition player. Rob Gronkowski wasn't an instant hit as a rookie either. He went through some early career injury issues. So Cole Kmet has gone through these developmental years, has gotten better with every passing season, and he may never be a player who, I was thinking, could he develop into a Mark Andrews type of target? If all goes well, he might still be that guy. He might still be able to be an 800-yard, 10-touchdown tight end with Justin Fields taking the next step, with this offense taking the next step, with DJ Moore taking a lot of the coverage away from guys like Cole Kmet. If Chase Claypool hits as another outside target, that leaves a lot of over-the-middle seam passes for Cole Kmet in favorable matchups, especially in the red zone. And there's no reason to think that a developing Justin Fields can't turn a 7-touchdown Cole Kmet into a 9 or 10 touchdown Cole Kmet. And listen, if he starts stacking seasons like that, where he's scoring 9 and 10 touchdowns a year every year, maybe not every year, but he's becomes a guy who's known as a tight end capable of doing that. That $12.5 million a year that at first you probably were taken a little back and said, it seems like a little bit too much to give this guy. That's going to seem like a bargain a year or two or even 3 from now. And the good thing with Kmet too is, look, at 24 years old, he's getting his second contract, a 4-year extension. He'll be 27, 28 years old by the time that next contract will be up. We could see a 3-contract player come from the 2020 draft class, which honestly, that means something. It means something when you're talking about building the culture of a team, to have a homegrown player get rewarded and be around for that 8 to 10-year run. And it's really rare to get a guy like that, because more often than not, when that player is signing that second contract, they're usually a little older than Cole Kmet is right now at 24. George Kittle signed his second contract. He was 28 years old. That'll be the third contract for Cole Kmet. And George Kittle got paid big, big money at 28 years old. Travis Kelce was getting paid big, big money at that point in his career. So Cole Kmet will be in that third contract. It'll make this contract probably look like peanuts if over the next 4 years he continues to develop. I'm thrilled that the Bears got this contract out of the way. And what I wrote on bearstalk.com today was, you could clearly see that Ryan Poles has his priorities in a pecking order. Cole Kmet was one of 4 players, critical players on offense, who are playing the 2023 season on expiring contracts. It's Kmet. 4 players total, 3 on offense. Kmet, Chase Claypool, Darnell Mooney on offense, and then you have Jalen Johnson on defense. So if you take Kmet out of the mix, Jalen Johnson, Darnell Mooney, and Chase Claypool, those are 3 critically important Chicago Bears players. Cole Kmet was prioritized over all of them. Now, you could argue that the contract demands for a cornerback and wide receivers, we know what the wide receiver market looks like now. Those contract demands were probably a little bit ridiculous, considering all 3 of those other guys still have more to prove. Whereas Cole Kmet has, even again, his box score numbers don't make your jaw hit the ground, but he's proven a lot already in his first 4 years that he's a productive, quality NFL starting tight end. Darnell Mooney is still coming off injury. Chase Claypool has been a little bit of an unpredictable enigma of a talent. Jalen Johnson, he might be a product of an agent or a marketing firm or himself overvaluing his contract demands. Maybe he's asking for money that is not in the same range that Ryan Poles thinks he's worth. That could just be a valuation issue, not necessarily that the Bears don't want to bring Jalen Johnson back, but they might have dollar XYZ. Jalen Johnson has dollar 123, and it's just not a meeting of the minds, almost like a Roquan Smith situation all over again. But if Ryan Poles wanted to get any one of those other deals done first, Ryan Poles would have gotten that deal done first. So what this tells me, Cole Kmet was earmarked. We want this guy under contract before the start of the 2023 season because of what he represents both for our offense on the field and in the locker room in a draft, in a football season that is rebuilding this culture in Chicago. We need him to take that leadership role and for him to be able to have that sense of, look, this team took care of me. Now I'm going to take care of them and be that leader that they expect of me. I think he's going to be just fine. I think he's going to do it. And kudos to Ryan Poles. Ryan Poles does what he thinks is right when he thinks the timing is right. He doesn't hold back. He doesn't care what the narrative will be after the fact. He sticks to his plan. And clearly Cole Kmet is a huge part of it. I think all of you Bears fans should be thrilled. But comment on this video. Comment below. Let me know what you think. Do you think the Cole Kmet contract was a good one? Did they overpay? Would you have rather seen Darnell Mooney or Jalen Johnson get that first big payday? Comment below. Let me know what you think. And while you're at it, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share this video on all your social media outlets, which it's almost impossible to keep track now, right? I mean, Twitter used to be a blue bird. Now it's a white and black X.com. I don't know what that even means. Threads is Instagram. Wherever you are, wherever you connect with people, drop them a note. Tell your fellow Bears fans to come on over to the Bears Talk YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe and keep checking it out. We're going to keep checking out training camp. Day one, hey, look, it's only day one. I get it. You get it. We all get it. If you check the video that we published earlier in the week, I warned all of you to not overreact to any one good throw, any one bad throw, to not overreact to the media reports on either side of the narrative, because sometimes you have some, grumpy Bears beat writers, which they tend to more often than not be. And it's so funny, right? You listen to these podcasts and they say, oh, we're just doing our job. Or, Bears fans don't like it when we do our job and tell them what we see. Dude, we get it. We get it. We get that you think you're the smartest guy in the room and that Bears fans just don't understand, right? But I know that Bears fans better than that, and that you Bears fans out there are smarter than that, and that you Bears fans understand that it's nice to hear nice things. Bears fans are not going to want to be lied to. They don't want to be told things that just to be made to feel better. We're not that stupid. Bears fans aren't that dumb. You know that, and I know that. But Bears fans are also sick and tired of negativity and pessimism. And it's just such an it's like an old song that you've heard so many times. You just changing the station. You found Bears Talk. We're that station you've been looking for, right? So you're going to hear that old song come back throughout training camp. Well, Bears beat writers, they're going to love it when Justin Fields finally has his bad day. The Bears beat writers that try to tell you, oh, bad news doesn't click well. We do much better when the Bears are doing great. That's nonsense. That is absolute, total, complete, 100% nonsense. Bad news sells really well because hot takes sell really well, and hot takes are hotter when they can trash a guy like Justin Fields. I don't want to get off on a tangent here. Fortunately, day one of practice, they didn't have the opportunity to do that because Justin Fields had himself a really good first day. Now, I'm not going to go against my own rule here and let one good day or one good pass somehow create a story that runs away from itself. That's not the deal here. But I will say this. I feel pretty good knowing that Justin Fields' hard work this offseason has at least allowed him to make a good first impression. We know Justin Fields has been working hard. We know Justin Fields is more comfortable with the offense. And we know the Bears have surrounded Justin Fields with more talent at the skill positions up front on the offensive line. And he's been working with these guys. And all we've heard all offseason is the time that he's been putting in the playbook and the comfort level that he now feels. So when he took the practice field for the first time today on Wednesday, that first impression does matter. If the coaches saw Justin Fields airmailing passes, being off rhythm with his wide receiver, not lining up the offense or putting them in the spots that they're supposed to be, that would have been a really bad first impression. That would have made us as Bears fans, the coaching staff, even Justin Fields' teammates wonder, oh, God, this guy's like, what was he doing all offseason? Or like, does he just not have the capacity to figure it out? Matt Eberflus, after practice on Wednesday, he basically came out and said it like that. You don't normally see the offense look as good as it looked in a first training camp practice, like the Bears looked on Wednesday. Normally, it takes some time. You're working out the rust. You're getting guys back in the place and the spots that they're supposed to be. They didn't need to waste any time. There was the videos of Justin Fields connecting with DJ Moore and on a beautiful deep throw. If you guys go on bearstalk.com, we have an article right now that has some of those highlights that were shared on social media all in that post. And one of the first ones is the pass to DJ Moore where Moore beat Tyreek Stevenson on a route down the field. First of all, amazing job by DJ Moore creating late separation and making a play on the ball. That's like massive, right? In one play, you see what kind of impact DJ Moore can make compared to what we saw all year last year with guys like Equanimus St. Brown and Dante Pettis and players who just physically aren't on the level in terms of talent and skill that DJ Moore is. One rep, one play. That's not just a training camp rep. We're not saying that this makes DJ Moore the savior. DJ Moore's been doing this throughout his career. So this is not like training camp hyperbole. This is DJ Moore. This is who he is. And on that one rep, you could see that Justin Fields drops back, throws it up. He has confidence. His guy's going to go up and make a play. And DJ Moore made the play. And that feels different. It just feels different that Justin Fields was able to go out on day one and make a play like that on day one, have the offense organized and doing what they were supposed to do without any disruption or mistakes or sloppy play. That feels different. It feels different as a Bears fan. It feels different as a general overall football fan. It feels like Justin Fields knows he's got a lot to prove in 2023, and he took the whole offseason to be ready for this moment. And that first impression, that goes a long way. You build a lot of equity with the coaching staff and the fan base when you stack good days of practice. And I don't know about you guys, but if I'm watching Justin Fields throughout this training camp, I want to see him and the agenda he has with every practice to be a practice where he's stacking another good day, not where he's trying to do better than the day before because the day before was a bad day. You want to stack good days. It's not stacking perfect days. You're not going to be perfect every practice, but are you stacking good days? Hey, look, we're going into the second day of practice for the Bears training camp, and Justin Fields is already trying to stack another good day. And if he does, then day 3, he's trying to stack a third consecutive good practice. That is the way you want to see this unfold for Justin Fields. So his first practice session, great first impression, made me feel great knowing that Justin Fields was ready to take command of this offense and actually look the part. Justin Fields wasn't the only player on offense who made an impact, according to the coaching staff and some of the players that spoke after practice. Let's talk about Chase Claypool. It's not necessarily what he did on the field that stood out, but the way he spoke and the messaging that he had for Bears media, for Bears fans, basically saying, look, anybody who's questioning my work ethic, anybody who's questioning my my drive, like, stop it, right? He said, this is the most important year of my life. Like, think about that for a minute, right? Like, this is a guy who is saying, it's not only a prove it year for me. Like, this is it. I think Chase Claypool knows that what he did as a rookie when he had 800 yards and 11 total touchdowns, and he looked like the next big thing, literally and figuratively, in the NFL. He rode that into his second year, and then the wheels just started falling off. It's like when you're driving past a car and on the road, you see that car and the wheels wobbling, wobbling, wobbling. Let me get in another lane here because the wheels are about to fall off of that car. That's where Chase Claypool's at right now. He's almost at a point where nobody's going to trust him as a player moving forward. It's not just prove it year. You didn't do well. Now you bounce around almost like a Juju Smith-Schuster on a series of 1-year contracts here or there across the league. That's not where Chase Claypool's at. Chase Claypool's at a point where it's kind of like if you don't show that you can produce in 2023 with Justin Fields as your quarterback, with DJ Moore taking the primary coverage responsibilities away from you, then you're just a guy. Maybe you're not even a guy. You're just possibly now going to be fighting for roster spots as you go forward in your NFL career. So this isn't just a prove it year for a big contract from the Bears. This is I need to reestablish my reputation as a viable, legitimate NFL starting wide receiver. Otherwise, I'm on that downhill ride for the rest of my career. And that's once you hit that other side of the hill, it's impossible to stop in the league. The NFL is not for long for a reason. And guys like Chase Claypool, superstar 1 year, you could be out of the league 3 or 4 years later. That could be the direction he's going in. I don't think it is. You probably don't think it is, but Chase Claypool's treating it that way. And that's half the battle. You have to have the mental makeup, the desperation to want to be great. You have to know that there's a guy right behind you waiting to take your job, or maybe right next to you. Darnell Mooney is not going to give up reps to Chase Claypool. He's not going to. So Chase Claypool knows he's in a competition for his professional future, and he's ready. Justin Fields said the other day, he gave a little bit of I think he might have slipped a little bit when the Bears reported the training camp on Tuesday, and he met with the media with DJ Moore. We've been told throughout the offseason that Chase Claypool was dealing with a soft tissue injury. And that's why he missed a lot of the last few sessions of minicamp and whatnot. Justin Fields said, he was doing great until his knee was bothering him, until his knee started bothering him. So Chase Claypool was dealing with a knee injury. And I think it's the same injury he had during the 2022 season, which at the time looked very awkward and possibly like, oh, God, here we go. Bears trade for Chase Claypool. He's on the team for a few weeks and he blows out his ACL. That's what I initially thought when he went down. I believe it was in the Packers game. He's got to get healthy. He's got to be right. The load management, the way they bring these guys along. But he's off the physically unable to perform list. He was on the practice field on Wednesday. And he said to the media, look, if you don't think I'm motivated, if you don't think I'm trying, if you don't think I care, then you don't know what I've been doing. And I loved it. I loved hearing that from Chase Claypool because let's face it, the Chicago Bears offense, DJ Moore cannot do it alone. He can't. If DJ Moore is what we think he is, he'll do a lot of it by himself, but he can't do it alone. Darnell Mooney will be a great wide receiver too. Chase Claypool could be physically. He has the traits to actually be a wide receiver 1 in the NFL. If these 3 guys all come together and hit, Justin Fields will go over 4,000 yards. He will push for 25 to 30 touchdown passes. He'd have to be absolutely horrible not to get to those numbers with receivers like Moore and Claypool and Mooney if everybody stays healthy and everybody reaches their maximum upside. But Claypool's such a big part of that. He has to be healthy, mentally well, and understand. He has to be bringing the right approach to this season. He can't assume I'm the dog. I'm going to get my money at the end of the year. He has to know he's not that guy anymore. And the way he spoke with the media Wednesday, I think he knows that. And I think that's great for the Bears. I think it's great for Chase Claypool, and it's great for the Bears. Bears fans, make sure you keep coming back here to Bears Talk. Subscribe to the channel. We are going to be back again, maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day. Turn on those alerts. You'll find out as soon as we hit publish. We're going to give you all the latest training camp news, any new contract news, more general Bears talk, obviously. Go over to Twitter at the Bears Talk, at Bryan Perez NFL. Go do a mock draft on Bears Talk. We have a mock draft simulator that we designed with Bears fans in mind. So go check that out and sign up to the Bears Talk social network at that's community.bearstalk.com. And Bears fans, is the best time of year. It's training camp. We made it. We're back. We got practice updates. We see the guys on the field. Pads come out next Wednesday, and that's when it really, really starts mattering. So until then, Bears fans, keep your head up and bear down.